Good morning, everyone. Hi, this is Katie Carney, and this is Katie Carney Stitching, and it is Monday, October 6th. I do not remember the last time I recorded. I think it was 2 weeks ago, but maybe, yeah, I think it was. I got back at just after midnight last night, so this morning, and from my retreat, I had an absolutely fantastic time. I am exhausted and my throat is a little raw from talking and flying, and I spent 9 hours in the airport yesterday on purpose. 8 hours, I don't remember. So what we have done the last two retreats is we've gone for lunch, and then whoever I'm with has dropped me off at the airport because they have a couple hour drive home. So my flight isn't until 9 p.m. So I go and I find a table and I sit and stitch. I got more stitching done yesterday. I got 1,400 stitches done yesterday. I got more stitching done yesterday than I did all other days put together. But I had a fantastic time. I spent an absurd amount of money. Then when I go in February, I'm not allowed to shop. We made a pact that we were going to kit things up, and I did. And I kit 3 things up on Thursday as soon as I landed. I bought 1 thing and the fancy floss on... What did I buy on Friday? I know I bought a kit and some fancy floss. And then Saturday I kitted something else up. I'm gonna have to... Oh, I bet I bought fabric. I'm sure I bought fabric. I think. It'll come back to me. I know I bought a stitch marker on Friday. Why am I like this? Anyway, I had a wonderful time. The Barefoot Needle Arts shop is really nice. The people that set up at the retreat to sell things, it was Millennial Fabrics, which I absolutely love, and I bought a piece of fabric from her and a project bag. There's a woman who sells floss drops. I think her name is Holly. She's a friend of Michelle's, actually. I bought several things from her. So yeah, it was great. Had a lot of fun. So this is going to be kind of a hodgepodge, but I am going to tell you the most important thing. I'll just talk about the retreat while I'm talking. But before I left, my goal was to finish Frost Christmas ornaments, and I did. Yay! Thank you. So I'm going to show you those. Here is my very messy floss. So these are by Soda Stitch Designs, and I was going to do this bottom row of houses. I can't. I have had enough of stitching these houses. Her windows are beautiful, but they have so many colors in them. I cannot. I can't tell you how done I am with them. So I actually only did 23 of the 24. I couldn't face another house. So I did all 23 of these. And they are very cute. I used all different fabrics. I'm going to show you all of them. The first 11 I show you are the ones that I have just finished. So this is the last one I did. So that's a little present. And again, this is just mystery ornament cuts fabric that I had. It's a little teal house. I really need a board. Little teal house. Adorable little stockings. It is very hot in my house all of a sudden. A coffee cup. 2 cardinals. I think I showed you these last time. Another house, of course. Whoops. There we go. A very yellow house. I could have put 2 ornaments on here, but that's okay. There we go. 2 little hearts. This grayish blue house. Grayish. It's teeny, they're all teeny tiny. The orange house. And this is probably my grandmother's favorite, and it's my favorite too, so I'm hoping we keep it. The candles. So those are the ones that I have done in the last month or so. And then these are the ones that I already had done. And this is all the fabric I have left. Just put that there. All right. So I had already finished the gingerbread people. The trio of trees. Oi, oi. There we go. Trio of trees. That's not what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. Trio. Makes me sound very fancy. It's a little chalet. Snow people. I actually really like them on this fabric because they really jump off of it. Again, it's all, I bought mystery ornament packs in Philly like 4 years ago. Another house. This one had back stitching in it. Oh, I wonder if all the houses had back stitching and I forgot. I'm not doing back stitching on all these houses. These ones can have it, the rest of them shall not. So there's that house. Back stitching again. I had no idea. More back stitching. So I did these in Pattern Keeper, so that's why I didn't notice. I don't know if you can hear the ambulance. Birdhouses. This one's going to be very tight to finish. Little house. Should have done the other way. The car. Michelle McGraw, very Michelle. On shiny fabric. Joy, and with hindsight, I have a feeling I have a mistake in the Y on this one where I placed it. And look at this giant piece of fabric I used for this little thing. What a waste. And it really doesn't show up very well because of the color fabric, but that's okay. So those are Froz ornaments this year. The next time you see them, they will be fully finished. That will probably be an entire video because there are 23 of them. She'll get 20. I'll keep 3. I have decided that next year I am going to knit her ornaments just because I just wasn't in the mood this year. So I was going to knit the ornaments this year and then I forgot and bought the pattern. So I'm just going to have a pattern for knitted snowflakes, and that's what we're doing next year. It'll be much faster. So I'm excited though to fully finish. I'm stressed about fully finishing them. That might be a November 1st problem. Right now I have stuff going on every day of the weekend from now until November. So this was my weekend away, which was busy, was really the only weekend in October I'm not working. So then I did take some knitting on the retreat with me, which was great for early morning sitting on the balcony because I don't need a lot of light to knit because I don't look at it. So the pattern is on my cell phone on my Kindle app. So I was able to just sit on the balcony, drink my coffee, listen to the ocean, and knit because I definitely need at least a little light. It was dark at 5 o'clock in the morning. I need a little bit of light to knit by. So originally I was just going to take a very easy sock, but I discovered, as I showed you, the socks that I had started probably almost 15 years ago. And I was like, I really need to finish these. So the book is The Enchanted Soul. It's all different knitting patterns from fairy tales. So like Tristan and Isolde. I don't remember what this one is, but they're all themed. Not a ton of like romantic fairy tales, and definitely like the Grimms, so they're a little grim. So I had finished this sock with the beading and everything. It's beautiful. And then I finally got back to knitting the other sock. So I had the foot done to here, so they're toe up. So I just had to do the cuff. I read the instructions and started it. Now I did figure out that you're supposed to have a space between where the beading is. So for me on this second sock, the beading is all back here on the foot, the back of the foot, or the back of the leg. And that just is what it is. They're going to be two slightly different socks. They will fit the same. So here it is. I have gotten, so all of the design here is what I worked on. So I got the first set of beads in, and then the first and second set of the wraps in. So they're really cute. Sorry, I hit the table. They're really cute. I like them a lot. And now that I have discovered them on Kindle Unlimited, the book, because I had long since lost the book, I really need to finish before my Kindle Unlimited goes away next month. So I guess I could screenshot the picture with the chart. Anyway, I need to finish them. So these are now my focus until they're done. My knitting focus. I have worked on my knot sweater shrug thing a little bit, but I left it downstairs and I don't feel like going to get it. Also, it is October 6th. Why is it 80 degrees? Like, what in the world? I'm so tired of summer, y'all. I've had enough. It is so hot, in fact, that I just went and put a t-shirt on because I don't know if I'm having a hot flash or what. I hope not. Anyway, so then I landed, we went to the store, I showed you my knitting. Let's talk a little bit of gifts. There are so many gifts. So first, Michelle McGraw got each of us these like badges that you can wear, and then, you know, all the retreats give you a name tag that I never put on, but she made us little name badges, and it's got my Flosstube on it, and I love when people stitch things for me, so I was really excited. And it's even got a little case in the back that I was able to keep my room key and a couple of my stickers in there. So this is gonna go with my retreat stuff. So my portfolio that I carry projects in to retreats, and that's really the only way I use it. And then I have a couple other things that are just for retreats. And if that wasn't enough, when I sat down on Friday, Beth, one of the dear women from Michelle's Stitchy group who I sit with, made me a retreat mat. Look at this. Oh. And she put my name on it, and it is autumnal themed, so all the better with the beautiful like stitchy fabric. And look at her quilt. She's an incredible quilter. So this is two little pockets here, and then this is felt, and then the fabric is this beautiful color. I love it so much. So that will be going to every retreat with me forever. And it was perfect. I put it down. I brought my Patoki frame, so my Patoki frame sat on it, and my iPad fit perfectly. It was great. And then Michelle also got all of us at our table these Nana K handmade. I don't know where my phone is. It's a phone holder. It's great. And what's really great about it is I had forgotten my stand for putting just a pattern on, and it held my patterns perfectly. So that was very, very exciting. I love it so much. And my fabric is just this very fun cross stitch fabric, and it's a navy blue. So that's going to be going next to my stitchy spot today. I do have to press it back into form. It looks like it was, y'all, my suitcase was intense yesterday. I had to sit on it. I unpacked and repacked it 3 times. I left my coffee cup down there. I left my toiletries bag down there. They're both very cheap, and the coffee cup I've had for like 15 years. So like I brought it knowing that I might not be able to bring it back. So the last time this hotel had coffee in the lobby, so I was able to go get fresh hot coffee for free. They don't do that anymore. So I really didn't need a coffee cup. I just used the coffee cups in my room. So that was sad, but it is what it is. But that probably took up the room that was my coffee cup on the way down. And then for our retreat gift, we got these really nice Bubba Barefoot Needle Arts cups. It's got a lid. Mine fell on the floor. And the straw. I ended up using mine a lot because there's a coffee shop, like a hippie coffee shop right next to the store. And I was like, here's my cup. And they made my iced oat milk latte right into that. So that was great. I love an oat milk latte. So that was good. Pumpkin flavored, of course. And so those were some of the gifties, and now let me show you another whip, and then I will keep going with gifts. I'm trying to move stuff from my left to my right so I know what I've shown you. So the first thing I bought myself on Friday was this bag. Thought it was so cute. And it is by, I have no idea because it's not labeled, but I bought it at the same place I bought the floss straps. Because I kitted up a bunch of stuff at the shop and said, I don't have any floss straps. So literally the first thing I did was buy floss straps. Hang on, I just dropped a piece of floss. Okay, so first off, look at these adorable floss straps. They're autumn themed. I really like them because they have the 2 holes. So I cut my DMC into full lengths. But if I'm doing something that only requires 1 strand, I cut the lengths in half and I put them in the second hole. So I love those. And what I decided to start, and this is because of, is it Lottie Da Stitcher? She's originally from, I think, either Oregon or Washington, and she now lives in Utah. And the beginning music for her Flosstube is the Shire music from Lord of the Rings. Da, 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 da. Anyway, she has been stitching the tiny towns. So I decided, first off, they had the Nativity Tiny Town, and I have wanted that from the very beginning. I'm very excited by this, and I got the DMC. But then the tiny town that I decided to start was Harvest Tiny Town. I really liked that. I was trying to decide between Thankful, which is the Thanksgiving one, and Harvest, which is the autumn one. And I liked that this one had pumpkins in it. That was what made the decision. So I kitted up the DMC flosses, 2 of which were also in Nativity, so I have to put those on the ring still. And I bought myself Mystic Fabrics Rushmore. Oh. And I got a 16 count Ada. I wanted it to be very easy on my eyeballs. And I started it. So here's my very small start. This was my Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. I started this in the afternoon of stitching after lunch. So I got most of the little owl and the first little house done. So these are very small. So this big piece of fabric will probably do, hang on, it's like a gray with just a hint of brownie purple. It's very hard to, there we go. That's probably it. And that's what I have done. So I am planning to just use this fabric for my tiny towns because I like it and everything will show up on it. So I bought those 2 patterns at the store, and then Friday morning I was like, man, I really regret not getting Halloween Tiny Town. And one of the lovely ladies at our table named Gina from California said, would you like to go through these patterns before I put them on the freebie table? And on the very top was Halloween Tiny Town. Gina had no idea that I had said that to Michelle that morning. So I now have Halloween Tiny Town to start. I am just using the DMC for these. I will probably go through for this one, and then on Friday, oh, that's what I bought. I bought Valentine's Tiny Town. I really like this one. Beth actually has this stitched up on her Flosstube, and it's adorable. So I bought that one too. But I will probably go through and see what of the fancy flosses I have. But I decided for these to just kit up with the DMC. I find it difficult when I'm kitting up. If I cannot get all the fancy flosses going back and forth, I either want to use all of the called for floss or all of the DMC. So for the sake of ease, I just got all of the DMC. So that was a long way to explain my tiny towns. And then they're all living, they fit perfectly in this bag. So this is now my tiny town bag, apparently. You are going to see a theme that... everything, I brought a portfolio for my projects and ended up buying project bags for everything. So the nice thing about being done with Froz Ornaments is I have one project that I absolutely have to work on that I'll get to showing you in a minute. And then after that, I can kind of just stitch what I want. So I will probably work on these as my smalls, and then something from my doom closet in there for the big things. Okay, so let's look at what whips I brought with me. So this is the portfolio I'm talking about. I bought this from Punky Pearl's place, and it is specifically for retreats. So the nice thing about this is it holds 5 projects. It could hold more probably. And then you don't have to fit project bags into your suitcase. But if you buy project bags like I did, it's all for nothing. So this is the inside fabric. It's a little lighter pink than that, just a tad. And then it's all Blackbird in pinks and greens, which, as you know, are my favorite colors. So I worked very little, but a little bit on my Santa. I really need to finish him. He should have been done 6 days ago. But he's getting there. So here he is. So really at this point, it's the jacket and the boots that need done. And a hand. And I don't know why I have so many needle binders on him. But this is the second thing that I must work on. I actually, I was so convinced that I would finish him that I brought the pattern for the next one, thinking I would start it. Who do I think I am? Now, exciting news if you've made it this far into this Flosstube. I was asked by my cousins to be the godmother to their new daughter, Rose, which is very exciting. My confirmation name is actually Rose. So it was, one, thrilling because it's an honor to be a godmother every time. This is my 3rd godchild, and I want a million godchilds because I don't have any babies. And it's my first goddaughter. I have 2 godsons. So girls are much more fun to buy for, let's be honest. So I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited. But the baptism is next week. And they asked me 10 days ago, and I was like, oh no, I've got to make something. So I really liked the saying on this one. It says, God is with her, she will not fail. And that is Psalm 46. But I really liked the roses on this one because her name is Rose. And so I decided to put them together. Oh, and the patterns are by, it's an Etsy seller. She's from Poland. And, oh gosh, verify my password. No, thank you. Let's see. Yvonne's Sewing World. And then she does have her last name here. It's Polish though, so I'm not, though my family is Polish, I'm not going to try to I'm not going to butcher this poor woman's name. I did message her and ask her if she could just, here's her last name. Can you see that? There you go. I did message her and ask if she could put the two of them together. And then I just felt like I didn't have time. So I just did it myself. Now I'm going to admit something to you. First, here are the colors. They are so me that it's kind of scary. Like, I kind of want to keep this for myself. Like, talk about Katie in floss. It's just pink and sage green. Gets no better than that. So I started in the center on 14 count. It's like an off-white, but mostly white Aida. And I started with the word within. And the middle is right here. I. And I should have, really the middle is this eye. This eye should be here. I messed that up. And I didn't notice until I had put it in a hoop. And I was like, it feels like this is not as centered as I thought it was going to be. But whatever. And I didn't notice till all the letters were done. And so I had God is within her, she will. And then on Friday, I got not fail in. So here's all the letters. This is what I had done as of yesterday. Looks great. And then I started to put the leaves in and I was like, this is not going to fit. So Michelle was like, well, do you actually have to do it all? Like, could you just leave the right side off? And I was like, oh, well, you're smarter than I am. So I ripped those leaves right out. And yesterday I added this rose and all the way up to here. And I'm not going to go up any farther here because I don't have enough room. But there's going to be another rose here and the leaves will wrap around. So I have to finish this ASAP because the baptism is Sunday and I don't actually know. I'm gonna have to frame it myself. I was hoping to put it in a hoop. I'm not gonna be able to do that now. So it's gonna have to go in a frame. I'm 90% certain it'll fit in an 8x10 and I am 100% certain I have an 8x10 that'll work. But anyway, yesterday when I sat in the airport for 8 hours, I spent the first, so I stitched from probably 1 until 5-ish, and then I had stitched a little bit in the morning. I took a walk around the airport. I got a coffee, But I really wanted to finish that one side and see how it was going to look. So this is what I worked on yesterday. It's beautiful. And this afternoon I'll start the next rows. So I planned to work on it at the retreat, but because I had messed up and because I was fudging it to begin with, I was making 2 patterns fit together. I really needed to concentrate, which is why it was perfect for while I was sitting in the airport. So that worked out for me. So I remember now what I purchased at the store on Friday, the rest of it. So I have been looking at, you know how I love Teresa Kogut, and one of my favorite Easter morning things is when it's from Matthew. He is not here, for he is risen. So this is Risen by Teresa Kogut. It's been on my wish list. They had it, so I got it. And I got, the owner of the store helped me pick out fabric. I got Sand Dollar. I think it's like a yellowy cream that is never going to show up because it is just, the sun is out. Maybe that's good. So I got a 32 count Sand Dollar by, it's Barefoot. This is what they dye in store. And then what I really like about Teresa Kogut is that she will use, so all of these colors are DMC, but she calls for 1 Classic Colorworks and it uses 2,000 stitches, 2 weeks, one that uses 284 stitches and one that uses another 2,000. So I got the called for chickpea, which I might have had, but I was like, you know, I'm here. So I got the chickpea, desert, and they're also variegated enough that it feels worth it. Like they're not just plain. 2 things of desert mesquite. So these are the 2 that have 2,000 stitches, and I probably only need 1, but I was like, eh. And then here is honeysuckle. So that is the other thing I kitted up on Friday. I forgot that I bought the fabric. And it will be enough because the owner of the store did the math for me. Because I know who I am and I can't do the math. Okay. Next. I did have another new start. I know you're shocked. So then, hang on, what is in here? Did I have 2 other new starts? I did. So I started this Friday morning. This is on a 40 count vintage country mocha, which is the called for. And I'm not going to lie, I purchased this pattern in the store. I had liked it the last time, but I didn't think they actually had it, and they did. So I purchased the pattern, I got the DMC floss, and then I was going to start it, and it turns out that the piece comes in a PDF. So I was like, well, I'm going to buy the PDF so I can put it in markup. It doesn't work in markup. So I bought it twice for nothing. But it is what it is. So this is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and it is called Retreat House. I love it. It's very, very cute. I am using a 40 count vintage country maca. And I am using I'm using the called for DMC. I'm using another pack of these fun little floss drops. So they're all different little scenes like that. I did not put all these on the rings though, just because I was lazy. So I will show you my floss toss, and then I will show you my bag. So first off, here is what I got done. I worked all the way over across the top. And then I worked down a ways, made a mistake, ripped it out and said, okay, it's time for this to be done. It's going to be teeny tiny, as you can see. And then they're great, like muted, beautiful pinks and greens and blues and creams. I really love the colors. And that was what drew me to the piece. So here's the floss. The fabric's a little, no, I guess that's about right. When I started stitching, I had to rip it out initially because I stitched on the mocha side, not the vintage side. And I was like, wait, we paid for this modeling. We must use it. Now the bag is special. The bag was made by Stacy, the 911 stitcher. So ironically enough, she was selling some of these online and I commented, I was like, I want that. And she's like, I have one for you. And so she showed up at the retreat with this beautiful bag for me and this fantastic fabric. And the inside is this fun, creamy, flowery, oh, I just love it so much. And her zipper is so beautiful. And I made her a bag and it's so ugly, but she pretended to like it. So, but yeah, how about that? Incredible. And then she brought me some Sees. So it's SEE''S. It's a candy company in California. They're dark chocolate stuffed with peanut butter. I have them hidden in my bedroom from my grandmother. Don't tell her. So anyway, that was that was my Friday morning new start. In this beautiful bag, because apparently everything that I started new needed a bag. All right, so Friday, as we're all getting settled, someone hands me a pink bag with a beautiful shopping tote in it, handmade. So this is from Gina. She came to visit us from California. She brought us all these beautiful bags. Look at this inside fabric. This fantastic handle. And it's funny, not funny, not funny. One of the things that can frustrate me about going to a retreat is when I fly, I have my rolling suitcase and my backpack, but I really want a bag to take to the room, and I meant to bring a reusable tote bag, and I forgot. And so as she's handing me these patterns to go through, and I found Tiny Town, she also handed me this fantastic, beautiful bag, which is the perfect size for project bags. So I was able to just put my project bags right in there. It's so gorgeous. I'm so excited. Gina, I don't think you watch me, but if you do, thank you so much. It was such a treat. So then some of the other things I picked up, I got this at the freebie table. Initially, so it's kitted, and I really just wanted the light cover, but now I think I might actually stitch those strawberries. They are really pretty. And put it right there because that wall is pink, and I think the strawberries will look nice there. So I picked that up from the freebie table. I did buy, so the 40 count vintage country mocha, I have started 2 pieces on it, and I did not know that they cut pieces down. I bought a half yard of vintage country mocha. So here's how much I have left. And then this is what's left of the top that I've cut 2 projects off of. So I went from never having used vintage country mocha to buying a giant piece of it. Everything shall be on 40 count vintage country mocha from now on, which is fine. It's a very pretty fabric. Hang on, I'm trying to fold it so it looks decent. There we go. So yeah, 40 count vintage country mocha. Then I also bought from Millennial, I think I already have a piece of this, but I really like it. This is an 18 count Wanderlust. It's like a grayish, a purple gray. I love it. I wish I had a bigger piece because I think it would look really great with Savior's Praise, which I'm going to start because I have absolutely no chill. So somebody had their finished Savior's Praise there, and I just fell in love with it. Hang on, let me find a picture of it. Nobody wants to see the selfies of me. There it is. So this is Savior's Praise. They did it on 14 count Aida. It was huge. I would like it to be smaller, but I also would very much like to start it. So that is a 2 start soon. Oh, and Stacy also, she heard me in one of my videos say that I really liked Red Rocks and that I was out, so she bought me a couple things of Red Rocks and put them in my bag. So sweet. And then this is just some ornament cuts that I found on the freebie table. Stacy also had found, you know, I collect lavender and lace. This is Angel of Summer. So I can mark her off as one that I have. I'm just going to show you a couple patterns. This was the freebie for the retreat, and I didn't buy the kit. I should have. It's a Stitcher's Haiku by Sweet Wing Studio, and it says, I love to cross stitch, floss and fabric surround me, where is my needle? I love that. So I will probably do it on a different color fabric. Everything's very beachy themed there, so I'm not surprised it's a light blue, but I have a pink that I think it'll look nice on. So to start, and then Gina must have done Fall on the Farm, which I never got from Little House Needleworks, and she was putting them on the freebie table, and I said, I'll take them, and I did. So I have all the, if not all, most of the Fall on the Farms. I'm going to do them as pillows because I'm in the mood for smalls. I feel like I'm Michelle McGraw. So I also picked up from her the 2023 Heart and Hand Collector's Heart. And then the Biddy Bowl Club, which I've never heard of. And these are by Pine Mountain. And they're kind of like the tiny little festive fobs from Heartstring. So I grabbed these. So this is, what was that? This is March. And I took all the ones she had. So March, May, and July. So that was very exciting. And then I had to have another new start. We went back to the store on Saturday. And the person they had for their trunk show at the store was Sprouting Lupine. And I had looked at this and looked at this and looked at it, and I couldn't decide, should I do it, should I not do it? I really liked it. I liked the unexpected color, the like very dark burgundy and the pink and the blues. It's beautiful. So since I was there, I decided to start it. I am using 40 count vintage country mocha because I already had it. And then it calls for 3 Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses, which I have never used before. The only one they had in stock was Black Magic, which is like a blue-black. So I did get that. And then the other 2 it called for were Forbidden Fiber Gingerbread and Poison Apple, which they did not have. But they did have Classic Colorworks Gingerbread, which I also have, but I got another one. And instead of the Poison Apple, I got Classic Colorworks Bandana. And then I decided, since I was being particularly crazy, I would use all fancy floss, and I would try all different ones. So they had a Pirate and Robin. I don't know if they carry it now or if it was a trunk show. I've never heard of them. But I bought Hyacinth, which the woman who played Hyacinth died this weekend, so that felt fitting. So there's Hyacinth. And from Cottage Garden, I got Lima. So here are the colors on the fabric. I love them. I love this so much. And poor Michelle McGraw probably wanted me to just shut up because I kept going, look at how pretty these colors are, and which is not really who I am. I just kept going, look at how pretty and vibrant these colors are, and they really are. So here are the fabrics, or the flosses laid out on the fabric. And they just jump off. And then here is I wanted to work all the way across, so I cut it off. So here is my start. I will say, initially I was working off the pattern and I was having a lot of trouble. And then somebody said, well, why don't you, and I had thought about this, but I was like, would that work? Why don't you take a picture on your iPad and mark it off in GoodNotes? And that's what I did, and I have 0 regrets. So that's where I am. I worked, like, this is not at the top, but this is how far over it goes. So it's going to be dainty. And it's funny, I give away a lot of what I stitch, as you all know. And I really wanted this for myself. And then I was stitching it and I was like, oh, I could make it for this person. And I was like, no, you are keeping this. So I am keeping this. And you all, it is your job to keep me in check. So anyway, Millennial Fiber had brought bags by Melissa Coons of Rust Hinge Stitchery. And I had really liked it on Friday when I saw it. So here's the bag. It's very cute, very me. And then I started this project. And the flosses match. So that's what made me go over and actually buy, after looking at it 4 times, I bought the bag. Because the flosses match the bag. And, you know, why not? You know, just, this is why I can't go to a cross-stitch shop ever. Oh. So I just had such a wonderful time. I have some more to show you. I'm sorry, this is a long one. First off, again, people are so kind. So a lovely woman named Kim, who's originally from New York and lives down south now. She sits with us. I do not know if she sat with us before I started coming, but she has sat with us at the last 2 retreats, and I love her. She's so kind. But anyway, she overheard me complaining to myself that I really should have brought some sort of notions bag to put all the things that I acquired in. And she was like, oh, will this work? And she just handed me a bag that she made. And I was like, yeah, but you don't have to. And she's like, I have it. Just people are kind. So anyway, one of the table gifts was from one of the lovely women. So we sit with, it's 2 tables of people, which is great because I think each table has room for like one more person. And Karen worked for Hallmark and loves Vera Bradley, which as do I. So we all got little Vera Bradley tape measures. Didn't know Vera Bradley made tape measures. Love Vera Bradley. And then in one of our bags was this fun frog. Oh, that's so cute. I would send this to Jen, but I know she already has him because she has every frog that has ever frogged. On top of our cup was this little 3D printed barefoot straw holder with a frog and scissors, and isn't that cute? And then we got some stickers. Can't talk, I'm stitching. I'm going to put this on the back of my iPad. I have a clear back on the case. And then this says Europe, and I don't know why, but it's cute. I came back from lunch and had a wonderful surprise of the last pack of these oh, it's the cottage cat. Can you see that? Oh, sideways. These are the best floss drops I've ever used. I absolutely love them. But Stacy had said, no, Gina had purchased these angel floss drops, and Stacy was like, well, you really need them. And I was like, yes, I will go back over after lunch to get them because they're my color and they're angels. Well, she went over and it was the last pack and she grabbed them for me and surprised me. Thank you, Stacy. You're so kind. And then we got this lovely little beach themed needle minder. I am starting a giant Halloween project, and I bought 2 things of Halloween floss drops to go with it, and a little fun, those are eggs, by the way, my favorite food, eggs. They're knitted eggs, and she has a thing of floss drops in it, but she was out. So a little Halloween knitted eggs. I need those floss drops. I need them. But anyway, I got 2 sets of vintage floss drops for my new Halloween start that I'll show you next time. I had gotten a set of vintage Christmas ones. One of the lovely women at the event brought, her name's Terry. She has her family's historic photos, and she has turned them into, some of them had them made into floss drops. So this is her grandfather. So the little boy is her grandfather, and that's her great aunt. I will be honest, I do not know where these little floss drops came from, but they are adorable. They're like a little plasticky floss drop. Then in our cup was also a pair of snips. I'm very excited for. I didn't use them there because they looked like they had a little grease on them and I want to wash them. And then look at these 3D printed floss drops. So they're this teal color. And then it's a little knitting needle and crochet hook as the pretty design. Oh, and here's the inside fabric to that. So as you can see, oh, and one of the table gifts, she put like a pair of scissors and these scissors, in fact, and these little floss drops into this project bag, which I promptly put fabric that I found on the freebie table in. So there is more patterns and stuff that I got, but I kind of gave you the high level of what I got because I didn't want to be here for 2 hours. I figured 50 minutes was more than enough. But I can't tell you what a good time I had. You know, work has been really tiring. And I'm very lucky that I'm able to go away for a couple days. My friend Bernadette made sure to come check on my grandmother. Friends gave me birthday presents early so that I had money to spend. As you can see, I spent it and then some. I have always really loved to travel, but I do not have the bandwidth or energy. I know that sounds terrible, to like plan a big trip, because when I go on big trips, I want to like experience everything and do everything, and I just don't want to. The nice thing about a retreat is you get there, you get to sit with your friends. I allow myself to stitch because I feel guilty when I just sit at home stitching. So it was wonderful and needed, and the location is beautiful. The water is beautiful from afar because I don't do sand. I highly recommend this retreat. I am planning to attend again. The lovely ladies are very kind to let me sit with them. I'm very grateful. So, Michelle, thanks for inviting me and letting me. I was like, can I come back? And I don't remember who, but somebody said no, and I was like, oh, okay. Fell for that hook, line, and sinker. But it was a great retreat. I had a wonderful time. I am glad to be home. I'm tired but energized. I'm seeing a friend for lunch, and then I'm going to sit and stitch. And also, Jen and I are going to have a little stitchy chat this afternoon that I'm very much looking forward to. So it's Monday. I have the day off. I'm very lucky. Thank you all for being here. I hope this wasn't too long. I will talk to you soon. I'm so grateful. Bye.